Shalom, welcome to Out of Africa Torah session. My name is Tatra Cohen, and I hope and pray that you had a wonderful moment of beginning this year 5785. We are back again from the book of Bereshit, very interesting book which carries lots of insights and stories of creation and stories about our patriarchs. A very interesting book which we have just begun. And today we are on the very first Torah portion. This is none other than Bereshit, in the beginning, coming from the book of Genesis chapter 1, from verse 1 all the way to chapter 6, verse 8. This is indeed a very interesting Torah portion. Now, I would like to paraphrase the first three verses and probably with a bit of verse 4. It says, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was unformed and void. Darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God hovered over the surface of the water. Now, verse 3 is what I want to talk about mainly today. It says, then God said, let there be light, and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And those two last verses are exactly what I want to communicate with you today. Now, when you look at creation, or just on the onset, you find here that the bottom line is actually about creation. But it also poses a challenge to show that this same creation being mentioned here is actually very complex. And in as much as it is so much complex, something very interesting actually comes out here. Number one, the first thing I want to mention is you see that there was order in the way this creation was being undertaken. And in that order, light took the precedence. Light became actually, the first thing to be created according to where I've just read, or a way I've just summarized. Now, there are a number of reasons why light was actually brought out here first. And now when we read or when we hear what Yeshua himself said from Matthew chapter 5 from verse 14, he say, you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. This is a very interesting. Well, it may not be a coincidence. We see throughout scripture that we are being likened, we are being put side on side with the light. And we see that Yeshua also is presented in the scriptures as the light. And not only him, he also tells us that we are the light. And here we are reading that light became the first thing to be created. In other words, it took precedence in the story of creation. In as much as it was so very complex, light should always take precedence. And now, why am I mentioning light in this manner? It's because light, God saw that it was fit for light to come first in the order of his creation. No matter how complex the creation was, or the story of creation is for us today, even for some to understand, it still is complex. But in that complexity, we see that light took precedence. And this is my message today to you, that let light take precedence in your life. In other words, let Yeshua shine in your life, in everything, in every endeavor you undertake. Let light has precedence. I like how Rav Shuvu actually through his writings continue to say, let Yeshua be seen more than I am. He continues to say, let him increase and I decrease. In other words, he was just simply telling us that let light take, or the light of Messiah should take precedence in one's life. No matter what you may do, no matter how complex the life that you may want to be engaged in, no matter how complex of anything that may come that makes up your life. But let the light of the Messiah take precedence. And that is the first thing I would like to mention. Now, my second thing is similar to this. Now, I want to re-emphasize again that everything that the Lord had created here had a purpose. You can see that no matter how complex this creation may sound to us, everything that He created actually was good, but apart from being good, it served a certain purpose. And like what I was paraphrasing from verse 4, I think it says, when God had created the light, He saw it was good. God saw that it was good. But it also divided light from darkness. God used the same light to do something, to accomplish something. Why? Because from the onset, the very light had a purpose. And this is my message to you today. Let your life be purposeful. Don't just live. Don't just go through the complexity of life. You know, we are like in this huge web whereby there's so many things which are knit together to make one. But with all that being said, let your life be purposeful. And that is the story of creation. Yes, it was complex. It shows the intelligent being who was behind all this creation. When you look at the order of how things came to be, you can see the intelligence of this story of creation. But when everything is done and said, one thing remains clear here is, you are created for a purpose, and your job is to discover the purpose and you serve the purpose. Just like this light, immediately the next verse begins to tell us what light did, because it was meant to do what it did. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.